Hey, what's up, guys? It's Mr. Freecoiner again, coming back to you. I know it's been a while, and yeah, a lot has happened. Actually, before I released that video just the other day, I think it was yesterday, I realized it's been almost exactly a year since I last published a video. That's crazy. Time, time just goes by way too fast. Um, so, needless to say, a lot has happened. Some good things, some bad things. I'm a vet, so uh, some very good things in that way have happened for me. So that's definitely good. Some other things that I do and I've been into for a number of years haven't gone so well. But it's life. Life happens, and from this, I can only take as a lesson. And it's cool. It's actually, it's a good lesson, definitely beneficial in the long run. But all in all, it's life. Like I said, and I know a lot of folks out there, a lot of you guys are, having to go through a lot of things and you're, dealing with the good and the bad of it. Um, so other than that, trying to get a house. I need currently live in a duplex, which is not so bad. It's just if you've ever lived in a duplex, it's you share a wall with someone, and if that person's loud, yeah, your life's gonna suck. But the good thing about it, it has a garage. We got a little backyard, for the cats and all that stuff. So that's a good thing. Now, with the market the way it is, it's I think as far as buying a house, the timing is extremely important because obviously I'm sure you guys see that the housing market's not doing so well. I think we're about to see some really bad outcome. Outcomes. A lot of folks are in foreclosure. A lot of people have been able to avert foreclosure simply because the government has been the government has been allowing people to kind of put their payments at the end of the note, and that's coming to an end, unfortunately, and a lot of people already have lost their homes. So and things are going to get worse. It's going to be worse next year. uh, 2027 is probably, it's funny, here we are 20 years later, and right around the same time as the GFC. Yeah, we're going into it. So um, we'll see how it goes. If things are anything like 20 years ago, there are going to be a lot of deals, a lot of man, some crazy deals. And if you're into or if you know anything about buying, um, you know, tax lien homes, you might want to start thinking about that, right? I think I'm actually going to get into it. I'm going to I'm actually looking into doing it. I was thinking about buying a course for it, but it's just when you start doing that, to me, it's like people, even when you buy it, a lot of times people just don't give you everything, you know. So me, I'm the kind of person, you know what, I want to learn it on my own, uh, and see how it turns out. At least that way, I'm not out of freaking 1,400 or $5,000 trying to listen to somebody who doesn't give me all the information in the first place. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. And of course, here we are with the crypto market doing its thing now, finally. Um, we do see that Bitcoin has hit 72,000. I don't know if you guys follow Blockchain Backer. I'm sure that a lot of you do, if not all of you. Um, I would say definitely consider what he has to say after after last year. his prediction that was so freaking spot on. I think if, I did, well, okay, so I'll say I initially when he said that, I was like, dude, what is wrong with you? There is no way we're about to, reverse and go there. No, the thing that we have to remember is our emotions and our desires. The market doesn't care about that. You have to follow the market. The market does not follow you. As long as you remember that, it's a lot easier to change directions. Because when you get caught up and you get sold out on this idea that, oh, it has to get to this level that you need, you're going to lose. And that's I was able to take advantage of some of it, myself. But all in all, here we are again. Now it's time to apply the lessons we've learned. And I'm going to tell you this also. Don't listen to people who don't make this market their life, right? And one person I can definitely say, not that I'm like trying to, sell blockchain backer, but he's just proven that, he's definitely given his complete attention to this market and he knows what's going on. Not to say that he hasn't been wrong, but most other people have been wrong a lot more and a lot worse. And the thing is at least it's like he cares. Just from what I've seen, he's very honest about, his opinion. He doesn't just put this stuff out there because he could like really clean up and just, if he didn't really care, right? He could really clean up, but he doesn't. And a lot of people do that. I do want to talk about another thing, but let's just get into the what's actually happening here. So $72,000 for Bitcoin. That's really, really cool because this has just happened today or since yesterday. Actually, we started it started kind of doing something yesterday, I think. Yeah, started doing a little bit of something, and then we had this nice little pop. Went from 64,000 up to 68,000, and now we're at 72,000. Reaching certain levels, like here, it does mean a lot. Like Bitcoin's jump above 72,000 sets up bullish golden cross pattern, right? So these different levels, when it comes to these levels that it has to reach, it's important because it's a sign that things are getting stronger, right? So be aware of just understand that you don't know much about this. If you're not devoting yourself to it, you don't. And that's a realization that I actually had to come to. So now I do pay attention to those who know a little bit more, and you really can't even pay attention to people who have made a lot of money. But before I get into that, I do just want to talk about a couple more things, I think. No, that was, oh yeah, yeah. Let's take a look at our old friend, which is XRP. That's what brought us all together. XRP has definitely surprised us. The expectation was that it was going to go down into the 80s, and some people were even saying 70-cent level. Personally, I got to be honest, I didn't think it was going to get down there. Of course, also remember this, guys, I am not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you anything that I would expect you or I'm telling you to follow and make financial decisions on. I think it's very important for you to do your own research so you can, decide what's best for you. So all I'm doing is just giving my opinions about this stuff. So just remember that. But all in all, XRP did pop up to $1.33, right? So if you think back, throughout the history here, because a lot of us have been around. I know I've been around since mid 2018. That's when I created this channel. When you look back over history, there's some things that happened that was kind of, in outlier type territory, like when the case was filed against XRP and all that. We still see some of the patterns happening over again. It's just things go up and then the patterns play out at that higher monetary level. And that's exactly what's been happening here again. We're seeing that last year we went into the bull market. It didn't last very long. Then we went into a bear market. Not that I was the one, doing all the, analyzing here. I was listening to Blockchain Backer. I'll be honest, guys. I've listened to a lot of people who do their market analyses and all that stuff. He is the best that I've come across. And the number one reason is because he's not there just trying to make money. Of course he makes money doing it. All of us need it, right? But he's not there trying to fleece people with the knowledge that he has, or just misdirecting people, right? So, he's not selling courses. He does, he's just not doing all of that stuff. So it's very important to understand that just because somebody makes a lot of money, right? They make a lot of money in this market, and not from necessarily selling, or I'm sorry, not from necessarily buying and selling crypto. It can be whatever. It doesn't mean that they know what they're talking about. So just, I try to keep that in mind. There are a lot of people who are very flashy. They may get something right, or they may be very loud, and you just kind of feel like, well, maybe this person knows what they're talking about. Just be careful, right? But either way, when we're dealing with this market, it's easy to get led astray, I'll say. Now, to get into one individual that I think he means well, I'll be honest with you, I think he does. I think because he's made a lot of money, he even made a lot of money selling crypto. I think, it's one of these very popular coins. I don't want to go give too much detail because, I don't want to talk bad about the guy, because I think he is not being malicious. So either way, he made a lot of money selling, some crypto some years ago. And what he did after that, right, was he started selling courses and, things like that. It's very, man, it's easy to gain a following after you've been lucky, I'll say, right? When people see that you made a lot of money, they'll want to follow you. When you get on, you're saying, man, I made $5 million in this market. You're going to gain a lot of, a following, right? And immediately during the times that things are going well, and it just seems like everything you hit, you're just striking gold everywhere, you're gonna get people's attention. That doesn't mean that you really know what you're doing, or, especially in this market. There are other things that you might do. Hey, you may be on top of it. But it's just a lot of times people are just lucky. I'm telling you, I've seen it. Even myself. There have been times where it just seemed like everything I touched just turned to gold. But there is going to come that time when you make a mistake because of hubris or whatever the case might be. You might just be like, hey, my chicken crap don't stink, right? So you get to that point, you're gonna fail. Something's gonna happen, and you're gonna have a fall. But either way, this person is now, just to get to the point, now telling people that the market is actually gonna pull back, and it's like saying, like don't get caught out there and all that. Just he's saying that he's expecting XRP and whatnot, the market to come back down, especially XRP to get down into the 70s. I'm going to tell you this, just looking at the history of the market, I think we've already hit the bottom. So this is the thing, when you have this level of strength come in, and this, I mean, any of you can see this. If you look back in history, when you have this level of strength, the problem with coming back down below this, because this is the bear market, right? Actually, let's go back. So this is the bear market when, we're trending down, 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 right? And finally we get a pop back up. When you have those levels, these levels go up a certain amount, and again, I'm not an analyst. It's just me listening to people who do analyze the markets and whatnot. When you have it pop up, and with the time frame as well, then for this level, right, for this price to actually come back down into the 70s, that's a problem. We have a major problem at that point. So if it comes to, I mean, it would have to come down, right in here, or lower than that, right in, somewhere in there, right in here, way down to this level. Say if it just went to 74, right? That's a huge drop. And that would, I mean, it would really invalidate a lot of things, especially the strength in the market right now. Now, could it happen? Anything can happen, right? When we look in the world right now, there's just there's a lot of turmoil. We got, people talking about, people dropping radioactive stuff on other people, and we got wars going on, we got like all this different stuff, we got oil prices that are through the roof, we got inflation, we got all this stuff going on. So anything can happen, right? But I tend to kind of go along with the idea that these markets behave in a certain way, because they have to, for the most part. Again, anything can happen, but when you have something go on that's outside of trends, then yeah, it would mean that there's something fundamentally wrong and going on, and pretty much you better run and hide. So that being said, be careful about who you listen to. Again, even me. I mean, again, I'm just here giving my thoughts and opinions on this. Just I have years of experience in this market of getting beaten up and having some wins. So I know enough to tell you that the people you need to listen to, aside from understanding and knowing what they're talking about, it's a good idea to listen to somebody that kind of cares. At least at that point, you can almost set aside the idea that they're just doing it to get people caught up in a bad place, right? So anyway, I hope I know that I've been going on a little bit, but I kind of just wanted to get here and say that. And also, I wanted to say the last video I put out, it was totally AI, right? Even the voice, I had AI clone my voice, you know, do everything. So I just thought you guys might find that kind of entertaining. I did, but yeah, I wasn't trying to pull a fast one on you guys. It's just I thought it was something I've been kind of playing along with it, playing around with it, and I let AI do the whole thing just to see if it could be done. So there you go. Now, in the future, I don't think I'll be doing anything like that, but if you haven't had a chance to look into AI, look into it. I I'm not a fan of the idea that it could be taking people's jobs because I'm in IT myself, so it could take my job. Not that I mean, I'm not too concerned about it, but um, it's not as bad as you would think, as far as in anything negative with it. But I can tell you, is extremely helpful. It can, some of the tasks that you would normally have to do, especially when it comes to searching for information, makes it so much easier. I mean, there's some like platforms out there where it actually is, you can actually see it reasoning with itself. It's really kind of strange. I'll be honest with you. There's a whole lot wrapped up in there, but like I said, if you haven't had a chance to kind of dig into it, do so. Don't get wrapped up too much with, I would say, you can do what you want to do, but don't get wrapped up with chatting with it too much. I think that can kind of, I don't know, it just seems like it could skew kind of how you look at things. Maybe it's just when you do it, it's just really weird when you're talking with AI. And a lot of times I find too that AI I don't know if it's telling you stuff intentionally that's wrong, or if it just goes and grabs the lowest hanging fruit, right? Because in certain topics, if you really push it, it'll actually come back and say, oh, you know what, I'm sorry, I got the wrong information, I'm glad you said that, now here's the right information. So that kind of concerns me, because if I was talking to somebody, I would say, dude, you're lying, so I would say be careful. But hey, it's a tool. Inevitably, it's going to get better. Which direction that better is, who knows? Better for it, better for us. Yeah, we'll see. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's really, I'm sure, more entertaining than informational, but that's what I'm here for. So if you're coming back, thank you so much. If you've been, if you're a subscriber, you've been coming around for a while, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate you guys. I do plan on, building this channel more and more and posting more. And it's going to be kind of different information, not just crypto. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, right? Just come along with me. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys are doing well and, taking care of yourselves. Until next time, this is Mr. Free Coiner. Take care of yourselves, and God bless.